Hello everyone, welcome back to Void Heart Studios. And I think my camera is angled a little too high. There we go. Welcome back to Void Heart Studios, and today I am starting a new series. This is the series to kind of run along my other two current going on series. And it'll just allow me to spice up my content a bit more so I'm not fighting for half-decent ideas. So this is a series called, and this name may change, but I think this is a good name for it, Nerf Then versus Now. This is a pseudo-comparison series where instead of comparing the statistics of a bunch of different blasters that all fit within the same general category, I am taking two blasters that are basically successors of each other. The original blaster and its most recent successor, and I'm going to be comparing them, but not in the traditional way of like, oh, well, what are the statistical differences? Is this one, better than this one, whatever. I'm going to be seeing how different they are, how much they've changed. And I'm going to have 3 rules to determine whether a blaster pair is eligible. 4 rules, actually. It has to be the first version versus its most recent successor. Can't do, 5 different versions of the Recon because, of course, they're like 4 of them are going to be the same. Anyways, the second rule, the first real rule, they have to be from the same brand. I can't compare the Nerf Retaliator to the Worker Prophecy, despite how neat that would be. But, yeah. 2, they have to be enough of a similar concept for me to deem them spiritual successors. And what that means is basically like, I'm not going to take 2 blasters that are completely mechanically different, that were just released after each other, and compare them. That becomes a comparison. Then versus Now takes a glance at blasters that are close enough to a similar concept. Like, for example, the Recon and the Recon Mark III, or the Night Finder versus the Volt, or the Strong Arm versus the Commander, and just seeing how much the blaster has changed. And then thirdly, having a similar name would be nice, but it's not a hill I'm going to die on. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through them. I'm going to show off, rather than pros and cons, I'm going to show off their differences. And then I'm going to do a firing demo, and then I'm going to come back to my conclusion of which ones are, how different are they? Are they different at all? And if they are different, well, what do they do differently? So for the first episode today, I thought I would shed some light on my favorite Pro Blaster. Today we have the Adventure Force AON Pro versus the Adventure Force AON Pro X. I've got a cobweb on my nose and it's making my... Anyways. Crap. The Aeon Pro was originally released in 2021? I'll throw the date up there when I'm editing. As part of the Adventure Force Tactical Strike series, this blaster was made by Dart Zone. The Aeon Pro X was released in 2024 as part of the Adventure Force Tactical Strike series and was also made by Dart Zone. because Dart Zone holds the monopoly on Adventure Force Pro, because Busby is too scared. So let's start off with the Aeon Pro. What does the Aeon Pro have in terms of striking differences from the Aeon Pro X? Let's look at the blasters together. So firstly, we can see that the Aeon Pro comes with this muzzle brake, while the Aeon Pro X comes with a P-car. They do both have the same collet, so you can put the P-car in the Aeon Pro, though it tends to get stuck, and you can put the little muzzle brake on the Aeon Pro X. Secondly, the Aeon Pro has a built-in front sight, while the Aeon Pro X's front sight is a rail attached. Sir. A rail attachment. On there. Next up, the Aeon Pro X has 4 tactical rails, while the Aeon Pro only has 1. The Aeon Pro's spring covers its whole prime stroke, whereas with the Aeon Pro, the first part of the prime stroke is just dead space, and then you actually hit the spring. So, yeah, there's that. The Aeon Pro X is only compatible with half-length darts, while the Aeon Pro can take full-length darts and has a magazine adapter. Also, while I have the breech open, the Aeon Pro comes with a Katana geometry magazine, while the Aeon Pro X comes with a Talon geometry magazine. A Katana mag is more like Dart Zone, and I think the Game Face Tryon came with a Katana magazine. And then also, X-Shot Pro Blasters came with Katana geometry magazines. These magazine adapters are cross-compatible with Talons, but it originally came with a Katana. The Talon is just more universal, and pretty much nothing except for Dart Zone and X-Shot Pro Blasters are compatible with Katanas, so I understand the switch to Talons in the X Blasters. Nextly, the Aeon Pro X has dual mag releases, while the Aeon Pro only has 1 real mag release. It doesn't have another difference. Aeon Pro X has a skinny pusher. You can actually remove the mag while the slide is closed. With the Aeon Pro, you have to open the slide before you can pull out the mag, because it doesn't have what's called a skinny pusher. The next difference is the Aeon Pro X actually has an AR grip. You can take this off and put like an airsoft AR grip on this thing if you want something different than the pretty cool little X greebling. And I kind of want to paint this greebling so it shows up better. I might paint it purple. Whereas the Aeon Pro just has a standard generic grip. Though the grip does feel rather nice. And finally, one of the most apparent differences, the Aeon Pro X has a stock attachment point. The Aeon Pro has a bundle of sadness bundled up on its ass. Alright. I think I've covered just about every apparent difference between the two. Oh, no. One final difference. Due to the Aeon Pro X having a stock attachment point, it also has a quick swap spring. All you have to do is take out the 4 screws on the stock attachment point, pull the stock attachment point off, and you can twist something to pull out the plunger rod and the spring. It is a rather neat blaster for that. And it also allows Dart Zone to easily sell spring upgrade kits for the Aeon Pro X online, which they do, and I want to get one. Oh Lord, what has happened to the puppy? Anyways, I think that's everything. Now I'm going to load these two up and take them out to the range. Well, we are out on the range. It is a very nice day in North Texas. Getting a little hot, but it always gets hot in May. But we shall persevere. We have the Dart Zone soft target out there at about 30, 40-ish feet. "45-ish feet. I just kind of put it out there because this isn't a firing comparison, this is a firing demonstration. I'm just showing you how the blasters work. But we got the Aeon Pro loaded up with some Nitro Plus darts. I will not be shooting this thing with full-length darts because I don't have like the, you know, small-headed pusher breech full-length darts. So, yeah. Just gonna fire and see how it goes. Miss. Hit. Hit. That was a loud pop. Jeez. Oh, cleared it. Hit. Hit the table. Uh-oh. Miss. This thing's hitting a little short. I wonder if the old Aeon actually hits softer than the Aeon Pro X, because I know the Aeon X hits about 150 FPS. I'll have to watch like Coop's video on the Aeon Pro to see what the FPS on this thing was, because I thought I remembered it being about 150, because everyone was talking about how it was weird that it was like, you know, the same FPS as the old Nexus. This is our last shot. Press check. Yep. Alright, we're out. Now, we have... Oh, ow. It gets hot sitting here in the sun for like the 5 minutes it took me to set up. Jeez. Anyways. Got Nitro Shot Plus darts in the Aeon Pro X. And we shall begin. Okay, they do hit about the same. Arrows. Absolute arrows with this P card. Jeez. There are some people telling me at my Nerf club that this thing is like overgassed. I don't think it's overgassed, because if it were, that P card would be causing a lot of issues. Woo. Oh. Ah, almost went in the pocket. There we go. Oh, we're out. Alright. That was our firing demonstration for the Aeon Pro and Aeon Pro X. Now I'm going to take them back inside and we shall discuss their ranking. we are back inside, and we've got the Aeons. Hopefully not sun damaged. Hopefully. And let us discuss what's up. Alright, first question is, are they different at all? Are they different enough to warrant not really being interchangeable? And my answer, yes. Yes, they are. Because this one, because they have enough differences, like, in terms of just, you know, cosmetic and functional differences, like, being able to put a stock on this is great. Because, like, not only does it just help it feel nice, it helps you better brace that beast of a prime, because the AON Pro X does have a heavy prime, because it also, difference number 2, doesn't have this slop. It does not have the prime slop. It doesn't have the dead space that the AON Pro X, or that the AON Pro does. Also, the compatibility with full-length darts is a nice gimmick, and I can see where there would be uses for it, but I personally don't have uses for, you know, differences in dart compatibility. And this series is pretty subjective, so, like, if you have a need for full-length darts, but you want a Pro Blaster to shoot them out of, and you really like the aesthetic of the old Aeon, go for it. If you're looking specifically for half darts, and you're looking especially for, if you want a performance Springer in a tight package, and again, you like the aesthetics of the Aeon, or you just really don't want a Fury, go for the AON Pro X. It has the performance, I mean, they're hit the same FPS. I think they both hit about 150. I oftentimes misjudge drop when I do the target test. And it comes with Talon mags. It's the more universal mag. If you want a 12-round mag to fit in all your, like, printed blasters, there you go. And it's pretty in purple. It's not curved like the mags that come with the Maxim and the Striker 2.0, but yeah. The Aeon in itself kind of fits in its own class in terms of just blaster. It is what is called a compact primary, or pseudo-primary, which is a blaster that does not quite hit up to the potential of a large-scale primary, so something like a Nexus Pro or a Harrier, but it would also be hard to utilize as a secondary, because it's just too big. It's also oftentimes a lot smaller than big primaries. But it is a perfectly serviceable primary. In the meetup I did with my Nerf club in April, I actually ran the Aeon as my primary in one of the rounds, or the AON X, at least. I didn't have the Aeon at the time. I actually got the Aeon at that meet. But I ran the AON X for the first match, and it ran well. Like, it runs well as a, you know, 150 FPS primary, and there is a spring swap set for it. Don't. I mean, there's a spring tuning set for it that's available on dartzoneblasters.com. It has a 130 FPS spring and a 250 FPS spring, which I don't know how you can get the Aeon up to 250 FPS with just a spring swap without it being, like, literally unprimable. Like, at 150, it's a heavy prime. Just with the nature of it being, you know, top prime, basically a pro recon. But, you know, hitting that, I mean, Out of Darts also has replacement springs for the AON Pro X if you want it to hit a little harder or if you want it to hit a little softer. But if you need it to hit so soft, just use the original Aeon with full-length darts and downgrade the spring, because I'm sure there's also downgrade springs for this thing floating about somewhere. But, yeah, they are different enough to be in their own category, and me personally, I like the X better. I mean, some people might like the original Aeon better, and, you know, that's perfectly fine. I really don't mind. I like both. I just have a slight preference for the X, just because it doesn't have all the slop and mumbo-jumbo. But it is nice to have the original Aeon, and I do kind of want to do something with it. Maybe have a loadout centering around the original Aeon. Or maybe use it as a secondary. I have that big blaster parts holster for my Magnus. So I could just put the Aeon in there, because the Aeon is, you know, it can fit, I'm sure of that. Yeah. Is that everything? I think I've covered everything. Well, if you did enjoy this video, then please do leave a like and subscribe. All the algorithm nonsense that makes YouTube like me. And I will see you all in an entirely my brain boot up. I'm just gonna redo that. I'm gonna leave the blooper in because, you know, funny. If you did enjoy this video, then please do leave a like, subscribe, algorithm nonsense, and comment your favorite version of the Aeon. Do you like the Aeon, the original Aeon better? Do you like the X better? Do you like, specifically like, the light blue Aeon Pro or the purple Aeon Pro X? I really want to get my hands on the purple Aeon X because it looks so pretty. But anyways, yeah, that'll be it for this video, and I hope to see you in another one. I will, I will see you all in the next one. I completely did my outro wrong. Yeah, see you next video. Goodbye.